Welcome to this video, and in this video we'll be talking on the topic comparing supply and demand, then resistance and support zone effectiveness. So I've said a lot about these two things in the previous topic. I've tried to illustrate that these two things are actually different. I also demonstrated it briefly, but here in this video I want to take it as a separate topic, right? So while traditional supply resistance focus on horizontal levels formed by price reaction, institutional demand and supply zone are more area based and dynamic, right? What does dynamic simply means in these terms? It can easily change, right? It's just like the price reaction. While in other words, resistance and supply are a more static zone which the price can reacted over time. But that doesn't mean it's not going to be broken. It's just a matter of time. So these are the key differences: aspect, support resistance, then demand and supply, nature, support resistance, horizontal level, demand and supply, price zone or block, mention other block or imbalance. So while I compress this chart, our support zone is going to be the level that the price reacted so many times in the past and fall back without breaking it, right? While on the other hand, our resistance level is also the highest level within the size of this our screen. Just as you can see the size of the chart, the lowest and the highest level that the price has reached over time and reacted so many times. This is also a support. While demand and supply are area-based dynamic, right? That is supply zone, that is a demand zone, supply, supply zone, demand, demand, supply. So that is basically what that statement means, and this is how to classify these things. So I did this earlier. I can't really recall the topic or the module, but I know this stuff like this already demonstrated this. I just want to bring it on to refresh our mind. So I'm changing the supply level to a different colors entirely. Then demand and support can be a big green. So causes of each. Support or resistance is caused by repeated reaction points. Demand and supply is caused by institutional order imbalance, right? So resistance and support is a reaction zone or reaction point. Just as you can see, price might have tested it over time. I'm sure if you compress this chart backward, you can see the level that the price still respect this zone in the past and could not break it till date. While demand and supply is more of an imbalance, right? When institutions execute their large orders in block, just like I did illustration before. So I'm going to use an uptrend still order block. So that's basically what causes demand and supply. So that's supply. This is a demand level. Supply, though this level is not invalid. Like I said, this is a sideways movement, but then it's still a supply because after the reaction, the price hit, downward. Then you can call it a demand zone. So that's basically what causes each of it. While resistance and support are basically a reaction point which the price has tested so many times but could not break. So overall, resistance and support acted as a fence within a specific period of time. The movement that the price has caused within the specific period of time act like a fence on the highest level and then the lowest level that the price has reacted over time, while supply and demand is just a temporary price imbalance which institutions use to fill in the orders which they already passed, maybe fill a certain amount earlier to sell, then another institution step in to buy a bit at the demand zone, then a particular institution still continue selling certain amounts in block gradually until they finish executing their orders. How reliable are these two things? Moderate, prone to fake out. So when we talk of resistance and support zone, it's prone to fake out. Similar typical example is this. This is resistance level, and we can see the trick. This is called fake out. It broke out as if the price want to continue upward, but before the interval of the time frame, you can clearly see how the price made a pullback and return back into the zone. So higher when structure and liquidity align. On the other hand, demand and supply is reliable when structure and liquidity align. What does that mean? Structure and liquidity align. So in this case, this is a structure for this movement, right? We're already seeing a downtrend already clearly. So this is perfect supply zone, and this is demand zone continuously as the price keep on going downward. As the price keep on breaking and retest, that is how reliable, and you can see how the movement has got this key level where it is. Price already broke out of this level after the consolidation period, so it's looking for a retest at this point and form a new supply zone and continue downward until we experience a valid breakout that is going to lead by large volume candle. Confirmation, break and retest behavior, imbalance plus structure break. So how do you confirm support and resistance zone, right? Through break and retest. What does that mean? If clearly this is break and retest, so this is our demand and support level. The way to confirm it is to allow price to break this level and make a retest. So after retest, you wait for a confirmation at this point. This is the case of a downtrend. On the other way around, if you are dealing with a resistance zone, then you have to wait for the price to break out of the zone, make a retest, then you stand here to look for a buy confirmation to continue downward. On the other hand, supply and demand confirmation is confirmed by market imbalance. As the price came down to this point, I said it has created imbalance from the breakout point to this recent low in the market, which can be classified as the lower low. So that imbalance is what is used as a confirmation for supply and demand. So the moment that takes place, I was about illustrating something. The moment this takes place, price form supply at this point, which institution and the retail traders is going to wait here to take the order downward. Then as the price comes back, it breaks this recent low, which acted as a supply zone and continue downward. So it is that imbalance that existed from this break of structure region to the recent low is what is used as a confirmation for supply and demand. So ideal use, support and resistance is simpler technical setup, demand and supply institutional trading strategies. So that is basically what we need to know comparing demand and supply and then resistance and support effectiveness. Pay attention because we are going to use this. We are going to apply all this in our illustration when we are taking a real-time trade. So basically that takes us to the end of this video. I'll see you guys in the next topic. Thank you.